Welcome back. You're still watching Trendz. In what's become the perfect fusion between Africa and South Africa's leading retail fashion space and the continent's premier fashion event, African Fashion International will host, yet again, Mercedes Benz Fashion Week Joburg at the Nelson Mandela Square at Sandton City from the 10th to the 12th of March. So soon, just next week, a lot is happening. And of course, autumn and winter collections from the country's leading designers will be showcased against a dramatic backdrop created especially for the event. I'm now joined in studio by Sizwe Nzimande, who is from AFI, who will give us some insight into what we can expect this coming week. How are you, Sizwe?
I'm very good, and how are you?
Pleasure having you here. This is a big time.
Thank you for having me.
This is a big time between awards, between Fashion Week. I mean, everybody is just in a tailspin.
Yeah.
We have to get outfits right. Tell us what is, happening next week at Sandton.
Well, I think first and foremost, you opened it perfectly. It is the perfect fusion between Africa's leading shopping mecca, the Sandton City and Nelson Mandela Square, and Africa's biggest fashion week, Joburg Fashion Week, Mercedes Benz Fashion Week, Johannesburg. So next week you can expect nothing but the best. We're going all out. It starts next week Thursday through till Saturday, and it's an eclectic mix of your regular household names, your big international hitters, from Marianne Fassler to David Tlale. But then also we have our Fast Track. Fast Track is actually a program where we take young designers, fresh out of colleges, and we start introducing them to the world of fashion. Oh wow! So and that is always very exciting because you come across some really original thoughts, some really cutting-edge, fresh, funky stuff. And that's a program that our executive chairperson, Dr. Precious Molemo-Tsepe, drives personally. Fantastic. It's a big thing for her to make sure that the fashion industry is always growing, not just from people coming in, but is growing also from a business perspective. So there's a lot of incubation that is done around the new designers. We take them through understanding IP, understanding their brands, and understanding the legal side of fashion.
All
so
very, very necessary because you might be, artistically inclined, but you do need, if you can't do it yourself, get someone who will help you on the business side.
And that's a big thing for us. That's a big thing for us.
But here's the thing. Mercedes-Benz Fashion Week has been so big, and it's always that noticeable event that the who's who want to be at, and even designers. I'm sure every year, once this one wraps on Saturday, you already have people who are talking about what are we doing come 2017. How do you make it better? How do you do better than better?
A lot of benchmarking. We do look. We are seen as Africa's response to New York Fashion Week, to London, to Paris, to Milan. So that's a big responsibility. So we do a lot of benchmarking. We look a lot at New York. We look a lot at London, Milan, Paris, to see where they're going, what they're doing, and even some of the other sort of smaller fashion weeks like Madrid.
But one thing that I'd like to just step in there and say is those fashion capitals and markets are very, very cutthroat. Things move at a very quick pace, and then South Africans sometimes tend to be a little bit more conservative and a little bit more slow in terms of international trends. So how do you then bridge that gap to say, okay, this is what's happening in Milan and Paris and whatnot, but South Africa, come, we also need to be at the forefront of this, and Africa, not only South Africa.
It's crazy. It almost happens naturally that we are picking up pace, because you start getting people like David who start showing in New York, the Marianne Fasslers, Marianne Fassler, Tula Cindy, Makhosa Bailaduma. They start going overseas, and they start getting exposed to what's happening in the global scale, and automatically when they come back to South Africa, they up their game to match what they did the season before in a New York or a London or a Paris or even Tokyo. And then what that happens is it pulls everybody along. So the young designers, with deepest level of respect, but like a Kosi starts looking and saying, "Whoa, okay, David's on this tip, so I need to catch up." So just that normal fusion of our sort of more established designers, the Gavin Rajas and so forth, going overseas. When they go overseas, they bring back a lot of what they experience,
and then the rest of the market
the rest of the market picks up. So
fantastic.
We're in our infancy, but we're growing rapidly.
I don't think it's infancy, because fashion and even the business of fashion has been actually for years now picking up. Just tell us about who, between the different days, who are some of the big names that people can expect? Are tickets still available? All of that.
Tickets are still available, particularly for Thursday. Friday's our big night. Obviously, we close out with David Tlale on Friday. Tickets are still available, Ticketweb, but obviously it's 3 nights and the different shows.
Yes.
Some shows are sold out. Marianne Fassler, David, those shows just go.
Yeah.
And it's going to be a 3-day affair from the Thursday to the Saturday. If people are interested in tickets, Ticketweb, www.ticketweb.co.za.
Thank you so very much for your time.
Thank you for having me.
It's a pleasure having you, Sizwe.
Thanks.
And you heard www.ticketpro for Mercedes Benz Fashion Week happening from the 10th to the 12th at Sandton City, or Nelson Mandela Square rather.